Hey, welcome to the Weekly Fury. I'm Josh.
And I'm Sean.
And, man, we got a lot to talk about in the NFL news. Free agency, trades, and even an NBA story that we have to cover and talk about. But we're going to start things off with Brandon Marshall signing with the New York Giants. He is only going to be changing locker rooms as he stays in New York City. Sean, do you think this is a good move, or is it not going to work?
Man, I love it. I actually love it on both sides, Giants and Marshall. I hate it as a Cowboy fan because now we have to play Marshall. But he's always destroyed us. That's why I hate it. I love Marshall. I love Brandon Marshall. But I hate it as a Cowboy fan because he always destroys us. But kind of get back to Marshall. I thought it was a great move for the Giants to add a good receiver. He's a great possession receiver. A great compliment, I think, to Odell Beckham. This is
a red zone target for sure.
Exactly. And I don't think they really had that besides Odell. And I think this is great because, first off, Brandon Marshall's never been on a playoff contender, never played a playoff game in his career, which is crazy. And second, he doesn't have to be the guy here.
Not at all.
Odell Beckham is going to take all the double teams in the world. And I don't think Brandon Marshall's ever faced teams without being the guy and being double teamed. So this is going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, okay, so no doubt the wide receiving core is going to be phenomenal, right?
Oh, God,
you got Brandon Marshall, you got Odell Beckham, and then Sterling Shepard, who's going to be in the slot. I think Sterling Shepard might benefit the most out of this because the attention is going to be on Odell first, and then Brandon Marshall. Sterling Shepard's going to be wide open all day long, and that dude's a stud. That dude is an absolute great talent, I think. And now, but here's the thing, though. It doesn't change the fact that the Giants' offensive line is very suspect. So what good is it to have all those wide receivers if Eli Manning has no time to throw the ball? Because that was a deal last year. He had almost no time to throw that damn ball. And they didn't fix anything really in the running game so far. As of right now, they haven't fixed the running game. They got what they got. So all those wide receivers, what's it really going to matter if you don't have a threat in the backfield and Eli Manning has no time because that offensive line is still shit.
That's true. And it's going to be interesting because we're going to have to see what happens in the aspect of what they do in the draft. Obviously, that hasn't come up, but maybe they're going to adjust it there. But just looking at the receiving core, it's a great move, but you make a good point, Josh.
Now, here's another point I got to make about that. Brandon Marshall, it's no secret that this guy comes with a huge personality, and he has no filter. This guy's going to say what he's going to say. And Odell Beckham Jr., he's a character himself, right? And so are some of the other guys on the Giants. But Brandon Marshall, right after signing, he already comes out and he starts throwing things out there saying, hey, that boat trip that you guys took right before the playoff game against Green Bay, if I was there, I would have been against that. I would have spoke up and said, hey, we're not doing that. We got to prepare for the Green Bay Packers. And he goes on to explain that it's like, that's my mindset right now because I'm an older guy. When you first start, your first couple of years, you want to prove that you belong in the NFL, and then you want to get paid after that. And then after you get paid, you want to win. And that's where he's at in his career right now. So do you think Brandon Marshall's personality is going to mesh well, chemistry-wise and all, with Odell Beckham Jr. and some of those other guys in the Giants locker room?
See, I think what Brandon Marshall said is absolutely correct, right? And
absolutely,
honestly,
no doubt,
he deserves to be able to speak up.
He's a veteran.
He's not the old Brandon Marshall where he was just so erratic. He's really gotten control because remember he had that bipolar issue, right?
Yeah, he's
gotten a lot better, and I don't mind this. I don't mind it because he needs to set the tone. Because Odell needs to take a little book from his a page. Because
Eli Manning's not going to do it.
Oh yeah, Eli Manning's just like whatever. You
guys do you.
Exactly. So I think Odell needs to listen. He needs to listen to this. He can't
think he will?
Big-headed. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because he started maturing towards the end of the year and started getting a little bit better after the whole fiasco.
Getting in fights with equipment and shit.
Kicking nets and shit. And anyways, it's going to be interesting because I feel like Odell's kind of going through what Brandon Marshall did early in his career, going through those emotional up and downs, right? So I think this will be a good learning point because I think Brandon Marshall can help him mature in that sense.
So there you go.
I love what Brandon Marshall says. It's just going to be interesting
Absolutely.
to see.
Yeah, I mean, that was the right thing to say. He brings something to an element to the Giants locker room that hasn't been there since probably since like Strahan was there in those days. I mean, a locker room veteran, a general. And Brandon Marshall is already, upon signing, is saying, I'll fill that void. I'll tell these guys what they need to do and to step in.
I love
that's great. And we'll see how it turns out as the season progresses. I mean, the NFC East is going to be very competitive next year because that's going to segue us into our next segment. The Philadelphia Eagles have signed Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey to 1 year, $14 million. Alshon Jeffrey, he had a multi-year deal in place with the Minnesota Vikings. He turned that down. He decided to take a 1 year deal, bet on himself, and he wanted to come play with Wentz. He really believes in Wentz. But not only that, the Eagles also signed Torrey Smith to a 3 year, $15 million deal. And they also signed guard Chance Warmack for their offensive line. He was a number 10 overall pick in 2013. So what do you think of the Eagles' moves that they made, and how do you think that's going to work out for them next season?
Another shitty situation for the Cowboys. But it sucks, man. I see all these NFC East teams getting better. But
so you're saying it's a good move then?
It's a good move.
Okay.
Because first off,
I think so too.
Oh, of course. Alshon was your boy. And Alshon, he's got so much talent. And actually, I love it on both sides. Because first, he's betting on himself. And $14 million a year, that's right up there with Dez and Demaryius Thomas contract-wise. Obviously, he doesn't have that long-term, but I think it protects him because he can get paid bigger next year. Plus, I think it protects the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's had some suspension issues and injury issues. So it gives them a little bit of okay, hey, we're going to give you that 1 year big contract, but we want to see if you can stay healthy and not get suspended. So I think it's good on both sides. And, oh, man, getting these weapons, Torrey Smith, Alshon.
Jordan Matthews as your slot guy, which is a perfect fit for Jordan Matthews. Yeah. That's what he should have been in the beginning.
He's not an outside guy. He's not an outside guy.
No.
So I feel like they have that deep threat now with Torrey. I think Torrey could still run.
Oh, yeah, he can.
He's
still got it in him right now.
He's a deep threat all day. And then you have Alshon who could jump balls all day. He's a red zone threat, possession receiver. I think they're going to be great.
Jordan Matthews at the slot with his speed and athleticism.
Yeah. And they still have Aguilar. I know Aguilar hasn't really come into his own, but maybe without all this pressure on him, maybe he can, be more comfortable. Maybe he just doesn't like that pressure, right? But I love it. I love Wentz. And I think that's a great pickup.
Alshon Jeffrey went on to say that he was going to do everything he can to help Carson Wentz be an MVP this season.
And did you see what Wentz said back to him?
What did he say?
He said, "Now all I worry about is a Super Bowl or a championship or something like that."
That's the right thing to say, man. Damn.
Yeah, he texted. Yeah, it was like text messages, I think, right? Oh man,
that's what you want to hear from your quarterback in the second year.
I love Carson Wentz. He's
got a great attitude. He's talented and
smart.
They're revamping that offensive line. It was pretty good last year. Now it should be better. And then they got all those weapons. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows, man? Maybe they might be better than the Giants wide receiving core.
Okay, never mind. I thought you were about to say better than Cowboys. I was about to slap you.
As an overall team, I would still have the Giants. I mean the Cowboys number one because they showed it last year. But that's a different video for another time when we break down the NFC East. But absolutely love the Eagles' move.
Yeah,
so do you.
It's gonna be great rivalry games for the next 10 years, man. I'm so pumped, so pumped.
All right. The New England Patriots, they've made some moves during this last couple of weeks. I mean, they in free agency moves, they signed Stephon Gilmore from the Buffalo Bills. They lost Logan Ryan. Okay, they lost. They let go of Bennett. Bennett went to go sign with the Packers. They traded for Dwayne Allen. The Colts got a 4th round pick, and the Patriots got Dwayne Allen and a 6th round pick. But then, they went ahead and made a trade for Brandon Cooks with the New Orleans Saints. As of right now, the trade looks like it's going to be New England gets Brandon Cooks, and the Saints get the New England's 2017 first round pick, which is number 32, and the 3rd round pick of this year's draft at number 105. Now, Sean, do you think this was a good move for the Saints to make? And do you think there's going to be more to this? Because I personally think there's no way it's just that.
Yeah, because as of right now, they're just getting that 1st and 3rd round pick, and they're giving up Brandon Cooks and I think a 4th round pick. What the fuck? Like, WTF? That's what I wrote on my notes here. Is just WTF? Because I'm in shock.
That's a steal for the New England Patriots if they pull this off.
I'm confused. Right, I'm confused. So I think it's one of these situations. I feel like there's more to the deal.
Has to be.
There has to be, because sometimes something gets leaked and it's not a finalized deal yet, because nothing's finalized yet. Nothing's been like signed and submitted to the league or anything. So I think there's more to it. I think it's just like a half-leak story, because I just don't feel like that's everything, because the Saints have already declined the Pats offer for this 32nd overall pick for Brandon Cooks. So why would they just take a 3rd round pick? They want a player, and I think they will get Malcolm Butler, but it's just confusing to me. No. Because I think from what I heard, the Saints got a better offer and a better, higher draft pick in this year's draft.
Yeah. So I mean, but if it works out that way, that New England was able to rob someone again. They've done this. They've done these kinds of moves before, and if they're able to get Brandon Cooks, only giving up those draft picks and keeping Malcolm Butler,
that's a steal.
Because if they keep Malcolm Butler, let's talk about their defense real quick. They signed Stephon Gilmore from the Buffalo Bills. How big is that for the New England Patriots?
It's huge, because I have not seen them give out a big-time contract like that in a very long time.
Nope.
And so, especially on defense, Bill Belichick always says, "I'll find another one," right? And this is huge.
From their own division.
From their own division, too. Stephon Gilmore's a good corner.
Hell yeah.
So I think it's going to be – I think that's great, man. Their defense is still going to be solid. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Pats have done more moves regarding trading and signing players than I've ever seen. In the last, I don't know how many years. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen them do this. I see them always trading for draft picks or getting more draft picks, but I've never seen them get these kind of players.
What do you think about the Dwayne Allen trade? I mean, Dwayne Allen was shocked. Like, he was...
I'm not shocked that he got traded from the Colts, because he has issues with drops. He has issues with injuries.
Exactly.
He'll show flashes of greatness, and he'll disappear. We all know that from fantasy.
But talent, though,
I'm not shocked.
His talent and his size makes him pretty, worth a look. And New England definitely sees something in him, because they just lost Bennett. So they're thinking they could turn Dwayne Allen into something that the Colts probably weren't able to do. And if anybody could do it, it's them. And
Josh McDaniels, man, he can develop some guys. So
and I think that works out great for the Colts too, because they get a 4th rounder out of it, and they get to get rid of the headache that is Dwayne Allen. Because especially if you play fantasy football and you like Dwayne Allen's talent, and you see that he's got Andrew Luck as a quarterback, and that should be all day long. But dude,
he'll go through weeks where he gets like 2 touchdowns a game, and then he'll just disappear and get 1 catch. 2 catches, 1 catch, and like they're for like 10 or 12 yards, 20 yards. Like, this guy is so inconsistent. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what he can do for the Pats. The Pats have a niche to bring these players on that nobody wants, and they become great. So,
fantasy wise, also, you gotta love Brandon Cooks going to New England Patriots. Tom Brady and Brandon Cooks. Whoo! This is reminding me of
the Patriots when they had Randy Moss, Wes Welker. Like, I don't think he has that. Has he
ever had a stud young receiver like that?
Touche. He really hasn't. Besides Gronk, but
besides Gronk.
Yeah, besides Gronk, but Gronk's always hurt every other year. So Yeah, that's true. He's never had a stud receiver like this.
That young, and
Wow.
not even in his prime yet.
He hasn't even got his first big payday, and that's what's interesting. Why trade for him?
So,
Yeah,
New England Patriots, they won the Super Bowl, and they are definite winners in this free agency right now,
So far,
and making
yeah.
their trades, and
Yeah.
they have a lot to look forward to, as they always are. So, God damn it.
Fuck the Patriots.
But, all right. Now, one of the strangest, most ballsiest, craziest trades to have taken place ever in NFL free agency, the Cleveland Browns made a trade with the Houston Texans, and essentially what it is the Browns paid for some draft picks. Now, here's what the Cleveland Browns get. They get a second-round pick and Brock Osweiler, and they take on that contract. The Texans, they get a fourth-rounder, and they save a whole lot of money on their cap space, which allows them room to shop elsewhere for a quarterback. Who knows who that'd be? But, man, tell me what you thought about this trade, and did you go through, like, this kind of roller coaster ride of, like, wait, what? Who? What?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I was at work, and, like, I had my Apple Watch, and I can't have my phone out, and I'm like, oh, ESPN, let's see what happened. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I did pretty much what everybody else did. Everybody was like,
it was
Adam Schefter, please explain to us what this means. I was watching online, and Adam Schefter, everyone was asking, like, break this down for us. This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And he had to, like, slowly break it down. Like, this is what it means. Nobody really understood it at the time.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that. At first, I was like, I didn't understand it at first, and I was like, so why did the Browns trade for Brock Osweiler? They don't want him. They have great draft picks already.
That was my first
they're going to get a. Remember, me and you talked like the day before. I was like, I think the Browns are probably going to go and get a quarterback in the draft, and that's another video. We'll go in detail. But I was like going into detail what I think, and now that happened, I'm like, my mind was blown. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And then, like you said, then that next report came out, and they started explaining, okay, the Browns are thinking about doing this, like cutting him. And I'm like, oh, well, let me look back at the trade and the details. Oh, they got a second-round pick? Wow.
I literally went, they're so fucking stupid. Typical Browns. I thought I had better fun. I was having actual, like, respect for Hugh Jackson. And then I'm like, oh, they're geniuses. Yeah. Holy shit.
It was honestly, and you'll agree with me, I think this is one of the best, ballsiest trades and probably most genius trades that we have seen since Jimmy Johnson with the Cowboys.
Since Jimmy Johnson, I was exactly what everybody was thinking about that. Like, looking back to Jimmy Johnson, where a trade goes down, everyone's like, "What are you thinking?" And it's like, because the Cleveland Browns. Now, who do you think actually won this trade? Like, is it Texans? Is it the Browns? Because I personally think both.
Yeah, you stole the words. I literally wrote both won. Because first off, Houston needed to get rid of that piece of shit quarterback and get rid of that fucking contract that they're stupid about giving out. That we all knew. Me and you talked about last week. Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
They had to get out of that situation.
They had to. And why not dump it to a team that can absorb that contract for a year? And Browns, they got a second-round pick out of it. Okay, we'll take that cap hit 1 year because he doesn't have any more guaranteed money, I think, after this next year. So they take on that contract, pay him, be done with it. He's off the books. I think they're going to cut him anyways if they can't find a trade partner. So I think both won. I don't see any losers in this trade.
Nope, because because Texans, they completely got out of that quagmire that was the Osweiler trade. This allows them for cap room space to make something happen for Tony Romo or something, and I think even if they would have known for sure that they weren't going to get Tony Romo or any legit quarterback, I think they still would have made this trade because they had to get out of that contract, and they get a fourth rounder out of it. And the Cleveland Browns, like you said, their cap space is so ridiculous. They have so much space. They easily were able to absorb that shit, and to get these draft picks as well as some of the other draft picks they got. Let me check this out. All right, so Here's the draft picks for the Cleveland Browns in the next couple of years. In 2017, they have 2 first rounders. They have 2 second rounders. They have a third rounder and a fourth rounder. In 2018, they have a first rounder. They have 3 second rounders. They have a third and they have a third rounder, and they have 2 fourths. And that's just the first top 4 picks. They have a lot more picks to go out of that.
Yep, so, there's still 3 more rounds.
In the top 4 rounds, that's what they have this year and next year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And I look at it like this.
That's a Belichick type move.
Oh, yeah. It's a genius move. And I look at it like this. I know people are like, well, Houston, how did they win? They gave up a second-round pick also. Well, Houston's not in a rebuild stage. They have a great defense. They have a pretty good offense. All they're missing is a good quarterback. So give up that second rounder, free up that cap, and go after Romo.
Because they're in a win.
Some other free agent quarterbacks.
Because they're the way they're looking at it in 2017 season. They're looking at it, if they get a good quarterback, Tony Romo, who knows, especially Tony Romo.
Oh yeah.
They feel like they can win the Super Bowl next year. Next season.
Number 1 defense. J.J. Watt wasn't even there, and they have the number 1 defense.
Yep. And
they have some of the DeAndre Hopkins, who could not get on the same page with Brock Osweiler. And they still have some good young receivers, Will Fuller, Braxton Miller, and obviously Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller.
They have phenomenal talent. So they're like, fuck it, let's try to win this year. And I think it's smart.
So, one of the craziest trades we'll ever see, and I think it was absolutely great for both teams, because usually in these types of deals you would think there'd be a massive loser, but it's so complex, it's so crazy that it works out both. It works out great for both, and I'm glad for both teams because it's just gonna make it more fun. So those are our thoughts on the Browns and Texans trade. Thank you for making the free agency period fucking very, very interesting during this offseason. But, all right. The Chicago Bears have made some moves. They picked up 4 players. They went ahead and they picked up Marcus Wheaton from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Which I think it might be a good move because I like it. He's got injury concerns, but he could be in the slot, and then you got Kevin White, and then you got Cameron Meredith. So I like the pickup of Marcus Wheaton. Of course, there is some concern with Marcus Wheaton, his injury concerns, and then Kevin White also has some injury concerns. So there's a good legit chance that we could be out Kevin White and Marcus Wheaton. So that could be a bad situation, but you don't plan for injuries, so you don't hope for them. So I like Marcus Wheaton as a pickup. And then we also picked up tight end Deion Sims from Miami Dolphins. Good. It's nothing really worth mentioning other than it's just a depth move. Yeah. And then we also picked up Quentin Demps from the Houston Texans. I like that pick. I like that.
Yeah,
I think that was a really good move for Chicago. I mean, our defense is very underrated, very undervalued, and I think they're really going to step up even more, take another step next year. So I think that's a really good pickup for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I think y'all were missing a good safety back there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God, he's gonna replace Kyle Fuller. Thank you. Okay, so now on to the big one. Mike Glennon was signed by the Chicago Bears for 3 years and about $45 million. Now, when I first heard the rumors about this trade, as a Bears fan, I was immediately upset because, we just got a bad situation, a bad marriage with Jay Cutler, who let us down, and we don't want to get into another one. That's the last thing we want to do. Get into another bad situation with a bad contract. Okay. Yeah. So I was very upset about this signing. But you know what? I'm okay with it now. I'm kind of optimistic now. I've kind of changed my tune because the contract details have emerged in this last day, and so 3 years, $45 million. 19 of it is guaranteed. Just 19. And $18.5 3.5 of it is in his first year. So essentially, what the Chicago Bears have here is this could be a 1-year deal for Mike Glennon. He could be gone after next season. We could cut him, and it would be real no loss to us. It's a 1-year look. Let's wait and see here, because Chicago Bears, along with the Cleveland Browns, were among the top 5 in cap space. We have tons of cap space move. Mm-hmm. So I think the Bears, what they were looking at here is, according to scouts and stuff like that and reports, Mike Glennon is somebody that a lot of people find to be someone who is underrated, who can be a good quarterback for your franchise. Maybe he's not the guy, he's not a top tier quarterback, but he's somebody who can game manage for you, not turn over the ball. You hear that? Not turn over the ball. That's very important to us Chicago Bears fans, because what was Jay Cutler doing every game? Turning over that damn ball. So, I think this is a pretty good move, because we needed a quarterback. You have Jordan Howard, you have Cameron Meredith, you have Kevin White, you have Marcus Wheaton, and John Fox. John Fox was looking like he was going to be on the hot seat this past season. You want to win some games, and you don't want to lose games by turning over the ball. So giving Mike Glennon a 1-year essential, it's a 1-year look and see. Like I said, if he fucks up, he shits the bed, we can cut him, and that's it. We're done with him. And it's real no hit to our cap going into next season. So there's really no loss there. And we can still draft a quarterback, and I absolutely think that's exactly what the Bears will do with their 3rd pick. I think they'll still draft a quarterback for a long-term situation. So the Mike Glennon signing initially had me up in arms. I was very upset, but learning about Mike Glennon's contract details makes me feel more at ease. That's what I have to say as a Bears fan about the Chicago Bears free agency signing. Sean, you're not biased to the Bears, so now I turn it over to you. Tell me what you think of those signings, especially Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon, I don't see it, man. I understand that they did protect themselves in that sense, right? I just don't see it though, because I look at it like this. I think they're all going to draft a quarterback third overall, which me and you already talked about that, and obviously that's going to be a different video.
Most definitely.
But so I look at it like this. So if you draft one of those quarterbacks that are coming out and he outperforms Mike Glennon, that means you're paying a backup like $19 million or $18 million, right? 18.5. $1 million. That's a lot of money for a backup. And so I don't know. I know I don't think a good protection to help maybe bench the first rounder, develop him. John Fox might do that. He's one of those guys. He's one of those old school coaches, right?
Yeah.
So he could.
I think if they draft a quarterback, whoever they draft, especially Deshaun Watson, who has some accuracy question marks to him from college, and that's one of the things that people have been looking at. So John Fox is not a Pete Carroll. He's going to go with what he feels he knows the best. So I think no matter what, he will go. If we draft Deshaun Watson or the quarterback from North Carolina, he's going to start Mike Glennon, because I think basically I can boil it down to this. John Fox does not want to lose his job next year. I think what this move really means. And Mike Glennon, that contract, that's a lot of fucking money especially for a 1-year deal. But you know what? That's not something the Bears set out to do. That's initially what I thought. Why would they want him to give him that money? No, it's actually more to it than that. That's what the market is now. Look at Ryan Fitzpatrick last year. He got a little over $12 million. So if you want even so much as a competent, a halfway decent quarterback, you're going to be paying around that ballpark. Yeah. So that's just what the market is. So I think basically Mike Glennon signing is John Fox saying, don't turn over the ball. Don't fucking get me fired, because we got talent on defense. We got some talent around you on offense. Don't get me fired, because we're going to draft this quarterback in the first round, and we're going to go take a huge step next year.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Mike Glennon, I don't really think he's a starting quality. Maybe he's a good bridge quarterback.
That's exactly what he is.
So
I don't expect anything more than that.
It could be a great move. It really can. So we'll see kind of how John Fox approaches it. Bears have already come out and said Mike Glennon's their starting quarterback for this year or this coming up season. They've already announced it. Like no matter what, that's our starter.
Exactly.
And I kind of like that. They're saying they're trying to they're standing behind what they're doing and I feel like that kind of solidifies what you said. Give him 1 year, develop the other quarterback, and go from there. Exactly. I just think Deshaun Watson could beat out Glennon in the preseason, in training camp, stuff like that. I think, but that's a different story. But we will see. We will see. I feel like they've lost a lot of pieces, though. I don't think y'all have a winning season because y'all lost some talent in the players. So, but if anybody can do it, it's John Fox. I like him as a coach. He's a great coach. So,
we'll see. Bears fans, if you're out there and you're watching this and you're listening,
calm down.
Calm down. I know we're very, very emotional people. Hey, that's what we are.
Aaron Rodgers,
we get very angry very, very quickly. But listen, no matter what, even if Mike Glennon is shit, we're going to have a really good prospect quarterback that we're going to draft in the back pocket in case he fucks up. And if he fucks up, he's a 1-year guy. Bye. So calm down. We'll be fine. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They have made some pretty damn good moves, I think, in this free agency. They went ahead and they signed A.J. Boye from the Houston Texans. They signed Calais Campbell from the Arizona Cardinals. They signed Barry Church from your Dallas Cowboys. And they still have the 4th overall pick in this coming up draft. Sean, what do you think about the Jacksonville Jaguars moves, and how do you think that will fare for them next year?
Wow. When I saw all these moves, the one word that came to my mind was, wow. I think this is all great. Like, they made some moves last year, and me and you've followed this team for a while now. We've been really excited for this team.
We really enjoy the talent over there.
Yeah, and we loved their offense last year, and we loved Jalen Ramsey and all this stuff, and we watched them play against Tennessee.
Yeah, we went all the way to Tennessee to go watch.
We went all the way to Tennessee to watch them play. So I love it though, but I feel like this team just got even 10 times better because they didn't fulfill their talent or their potential last year.
No.
So now Campbell is a phenomenal talent. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the game. He had 8.5 sacks last year. For a defensive tackle, that's fucking phenomenal. Then, obviously, A.J. Boye. Is that Boye? How do you say
it?
Boye. There we go.
Joining Jalen Ramsey?
Was a fucking phenomenal corner. Phenomenal. Yeah, and he's playing side by side with Jalen Ramsey now.
Oh, shit.
And Jalen Ramsey did phenomenal last year. We all know that.
He had a good rookie year.
Oh, yeah. So I feel like this team has made so many good moves. Their defense is solid. I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Wow.
Hopefully this year they can live up to their potential on the offensive side. I still think they need to make some moves, especially in the offensive side regarding running back and stuff and their offensive line. But overall, this is phenomenal. Tom Coughlin is doing a phenomenal job. We were all curious to see what he could do on the GM side, on the front office side, rather than coaching, and he's doing phenomenal. So A+.
So, okay, that defense is stepping up offensively now. Blake Bortles needs to step up next year. Tom Coughlin even put him on blast, saying, "Hey, there's no guarantee you're even going to be the starting quarterback next year. You better, compete for that job during the offseason, during
training camp,
that
little fire under his ass,
and get your shit together." That's what Tom Coughlin does. And they have the 4th overall pick. This whole situation, like what they've been doing with defense, is telling me that they're going to draft Leonard Fournette in the 4th pick. With the 4th pick, they're going to draft Fournette with the 4th pick. You got to fix that offense. They're going to draft a running back with that 4th pick. And so this offseason looks very promising for the Jacksonville Jaguars. For you Jags fans, you guys should be very excited right now. Just hope that Blake Bortles, gets his shit together, because if he can, in the AFC South, you're only really looking at the Houston Texans as a real threat. And defensively, you guys might be up on their on par with them here in the next year or two. Level. Yep. So Jacksonville Jaguars have every reason to be happy and celebrate right now, because I really love their moves.
Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing.
So congratulations. Okay. Free agency winners. Me and Sean, we're gonna break down who we thought won in free agency. And Sean, tell me a team that you thought was a legit winner.
Just one?
And then we'll just go back and forth.
Okay, because I have a few here, Josh. The most obvious.
Actually, go ahead. Give me your winners.
Okay,
give me your winners.
I'll give you. I have 3 written down here.
All right.
Obviously, the one we just talked about, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jags, absolutely.
We don't have to go into too much depth about this, but they've made Campbell, Boye, Church. Those 3 alone are phenomenal pickups. I think that team's going to be overall great on defense. They got young talent, great talent. They still have to fix some things on the offensive side, like we said. But overall, this is phenomenal. Great young talent. There's nothing else to say about that. Next team is going to be the Browns. They haven't really signed anybody, but they made that move to get more draft picks, and they took on a contract. They've already that they can easily absorb, and they have enough weapons regarding draft pick wise. I think the Browns made a smart move, even though everybody was laughing at them for doing this at first. I think that Brock Osweiler trade is going to pay off dividends because they got a second-round pick. Like, a second-round pick just to absorb a contract for 1 year is not bad. So I think it's a great move by them. And then, obviously, hands down, which you usually don't hear their name thrown around in the sense, but the Pats. The Pats, you don't hear their name thrown around in the free agency winners because they don't usually make big moves in the free agency. But they got Stephon Gilmore. They even traded for Brandon Cooks, which we're still waiting for all the final, verbiage. But I think those 3 teams are my top people, and I'm in shock by all 3 of them. So those are my wow teams right now.
Okay, I'm also gonna have to throw in my some of my winners. I like those are winners, and also include, for me at least, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I agree.
I would also include the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signing Deshaun Jackson and putting him with Mike Evans. That was really good. I also like what the Detroit Lions did. That they got DJ Hayden for defense, and they also picked up offensive tackle Rick Wagner from the Baltimore Ravens. I was really pissed off about this because I really wanted the Chicago Bears to go after him, but they signed Rick Wagner and they made him the highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL, and that's a huge plus for the Detroit Lions. Now all they need to do is go get that running back, and I think they will. So
We'll see.
I like the Detroit Lions also, and then of course, the Browns, you said, Texans. And the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, and then Giants. I don't know. I'll put them winner. They got.
They're winners so far. They are winners so far. They've made a good move.
Some other moves that I liked that were made. Russell Okung, he went to the San Diego Chargers. Yep. I think that was a pretty okay move because San Diego really needs offensive line help.
They really do.
That really works out for Melvin Gordon and Phillip Rivers.
Not San Diego, Josh.
What?
It's LA Chargers.
Oh my God. I have to get used to that shit.
Get your shit together.
Oh my God. The LA Chargers. Yeah, that's right. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Get it together.
I like that move that they made there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good moves. There's a lot of teams made some good moves.
And also with the Cleveland Browns, I forgot to mention is that they really revamped their offensive line. They're really, making that shit solid. They signed 2 offensive linemen. They signed guard Zietler. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. And then the center.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best.
And they signed that center. Two offensive linemen that many feel were the 2 best options on the market, and they signed them.
Yeah.
So, really good for the Browns.
Oh, yeah. Browns have a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
definitely. So, no more paper bags over you guys' head.
Well, maybe another.
Those are our free agent winners. Let us know, guys. Let us know what you think. Did we leave some people out, or individual players, teams?
Yep.
Let us know what you guys think. Who won in this year's free agency? Now, free agency losers. Sean, who you got losing this free agency?
Let me see here. Let me see.
Because I'll tell you right now who definitely lost.
Go ahead.
The Minnesota Vikings. They did nothing. They tried to go after Alshon Jeffrey, but Jeffrey said, "Fuck you guys. I'm not going over there. I'm going to go down to Philly and play."
They don't even have a quarterback. They have Sam Bradford.
What are you doing, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Their fans are pissed right now. Trust me.
Oh, I would be too. Yeah, I say Minnesota's up there. They didn't really make any moves. Another one, well, I wrote down the Saints, but that's just because of right now the trade. But it's hard to say. That's not really a free agency loser because that's more of a trade, right? But I didn't really like the Bears. I know you kind of like the Bears moves. That's another team I thought were losers. I just felt like they could have gotten a little bit more talent-wise. They didn't get a good, solid offensive weapon to help. Besides, I know they got Wheaton, but Bears, I feel like they need to get another big-time receiver. And there was a few out there, good potential receivers.
They weren't going to replace Kevin White or Kevin Meredith. Those guys are beasts.
Oh, no.
Especially Meredith. I like Meredith more than I like Kevin White just because he's been there.
I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying, Alshon Jeffrey is a great player. And I felt like they need to bring in another player to make up for that. And Wheaton, I don't think that he's too big of a question mark to me.
If we could have pulled off Cooks, we would have gave it no, never mind. Let's see. Another loser.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers. They were losers in this free agency.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They got Martellus Bennett.
No, fuck that. They're losers. Because you know who else is pissed off about this? You know who else calls them losers? Aaron Rodgers. He's pissed off right now. He's seeing what everybody else is doing, and he called out the Green Bay front office. He said, "What are you guys doing? We need a lot of help. Green Bay is going to fucking suck next year. They need help on defense. They need help on offense. They need all kinds of fucking help, especially with their offensive line. And who's the running back?
Yep.
Eddie Lacy, maybe if he goes nobody else and they have no other option.
I think he's going to visit Minnesota.
Yeah, Seattle, and then he's going to go back to the Packers and see what they can offer him. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is not happy right now.
Oh, I bet. And you know what? I will say this. Another loser that I had in mind are my Cowboys. I feel like they didn't really make a lot of moves. They did sign just recently Nolan Carroll, the cornerback from the Eagles, and also they did bring back Terrence Williams. But besides that, they haven't really made a lot of moves. I know they've been in talks about the trade with Romo, but there hasn't been a lot of moves. I feel like we could be put in there as losers too. I don't feel like we've done a lot.
There's nothing you really could do. You guys have one of the bottom cap spaces. You guys
got
I
think $7 million. We trade or release Romo, we'd have had a lot more, right? And I look at it like this: I look at the Giants, I look at the Eagles, and the Redskins not so much, but but the Giants and Eagles have improved so much.
Are you scared of the Eagles?
I'm like, we do. We need to keep up. Our defense wasn't our defense did pretty good last year, but that was because our run game really helped them. So we need our defense to get better to help out our offense now. But I don't know. Another team is, I kind of just mentioned them, is the Redskins, because they've just, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
If you weren't going to say it, I was.
I feel bad for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins doesn't want to be there anymore.
First time
that whole team is done.
First time an NFL team has lost two 1,000-yard receivers at the same time.
Yeah.
They said it Terrell Pryor, but
Deshaun Jackson.
You're not putting yourselves in a good spot there. And then there's the whole fiasco with them firing their GM and what's going on there.
That's another video.
And who the fuck knows? These guys are imploding in the offseason, so they are fucking losers.
I think they're probably my number one loser. I don't think they gained really any talent besides Terrell Pryor, but I wouldn't really put them up there in talent-wise. So I think they've lost so much, and they've lost their offensive coordinator, their GM, like you already said. The Redskins are just a whole total mess. They're a hot mess.
Here's another loser for you. The Cincinnati Bengals, I think, were losers in this free agency.
They didn't make any moves.
And you know what? That's pretty fucking pathetic because they need offensive line help. And look at look at Ricky Wagner, the two guys that the fucking Cleveland Browns just signed. They're seeing and they lost, I think, one of their guys just as of the day of this recording. So what are they doing? They need offensive line help, and they're seeing all these other guys get signed. What are you doing? It's not like they don't have cap space.
It's going to be tough. Bengals, I think they do have some contracts coming up. And I think that might be why. So it's tough. It's tough because last year in free agency they almost lost a few players and they had to sign some of them to some extensions. So
I'll tell you one thing: fantasy football, you don't think you want to draft Andy Dalton or those running backs because their offensive line is going to be.
I'll still take AJ Green. I'll take him.
I'll take AJ Green. He's gonna do what he's do. But that offensive line's gonna be shit next year.
Yep.
So, those are our losers. Sean's biggest loser is the Redskins. My biggest loser is probably going to be the Vikings or Packers. I think I'm leaning towards more of the Vikings.
Josh, I want to say this. It's kind of funny that we picked our own division rivals as losers.
Oh, that's a coincidence.
You think we're biased? Are we biased, Josh? I don't know.
Those are some shit teams right there.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys think about our picks for free agency losers. Who do you guys have losing this free agency? Did we miss something? Let us know in the comments below.
Yep.
Moving on. Dirk Nowitzki, 30,000 points. Sean, go.
Oh, I don't know where to start. Well, Dirk is, man, Josh, as you know, I'm not sure everybody else knows because I have mainly football behind me, but I'm a fucking huge Dirk fan.
Really?
I want to go grab his jersey. Can I go grab his jersey? I should have put that on. Dirk is probably. I'm in loss for words right now because this moment, he's the only third, I think sixth player to ever do it, and third to ever do it with one team.
That's right.
And he's Kobe and Karl Malone are the only two other players that have done it.
That's right.
So that's a very good hats off to him. Dirk is a true professional. He's suffered through bad years with Dallas, all the turmoil. He's won a championship to Dallas. And, man, he's still doing great. I saw him play the Nets and beat them just last night. And he brought us back. We were actually losing to the Nets, by the way, which is sad. And he just came back and hit like a couple shots in the third quarter, hit a couple big threes, and he still got it, man. I do want to say this. Dirk, and I mean, you talked about this, and Dirk is probably one of the few players that ever changed the game, and I'm so glad to be able to witness such a great player and see him live, and that's what's phenomenal. And he's great with the fans, great with the city, and he's gonna be a Mav for life. I'm excited.
Dirk Nowitzki. I've been following the NBAs for as long as I can remember, and Dirk is definitely one of the guys who have changed this. To change the game. Not too many guys are. You got a lot of great players, but not too many guys do that. LeBron's a guy like that. Michael Jordan is a guy like that. Allen Iverson is a guy like that. Shaquille O'Neal. Dirk made it possible, and he made it cool, and he made a whole generation of kids who are going to grow up to be big guys in the NBA to be able to shoot from the outside. Like, hey, you can be athletic 7-footer. I mean, Garnett was kind of like that too, but he didn't have Dirk's shot. Dirk is shooting threes, as a 7-footer. And there's guys today that like Porzingis and other big guys who can shoot from outside who have Dirk to thank for that. I'm pretty sure you ask them, who did you watch growing up, and who did you emulate from? And they're probably going to say Dirk Nowitzki, especially European players. Dirk came into this league. He didn't come with no hype. He didn't come with no nothing, and he was brought here along with Steve Nash. And I can remember, in the early 2000s, living in Indiana, before I moved to the Dallas area. I remember being excited, like, wow. When I moved down there, I'm gonna go see Dirk and Michael Finley and Steve Nash play. Those guys are pretty damn good. That Dirk, holy shit! Oh Dirk. Man, he's gonna have some great years going against Tim Duncan, and they did. Oh my God, let's talk about that, man. How many times have we went to go see Dirk and Duncan play? You talking about two guys who are so classy and huge respect for one another. Oh. They are what they are to each other's franchises. Dirk is the Duncan of, the Mavericks and vice versa. I mean, you can't, there's not enough to say about Dirk.
Put their whole team on their backs, and they've been able to handle that load and all that pressure. with that rivalry, I remember what was it?
And I never thought of it as an ugly rivalry. What?
No, we were never dirty.
Never.
Remember was it the 2000 when we went to the NBA Finals in the 2006 NBA Finals, right? That Western Conference Finals that we played, y'all, they say was probably one of the best
greatest series
playoff series, even over finals games series. That Dallas versus San Antonio was one of the best.
And let me tell you,
rivalries.
When that happened, I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset because, as you guys know, you guys see my Chicago stuff up here. But one that I'm missing, and it's because I can't find it, is I'm a Spurs fan. I'm a huge Spurs fan. I grew up in San Antonio when I was a child. And when that happened, when Mavs knocked out Spurs and whenever they did, I never got mad or upset because it was never an ugly rivalry. It's one of the greatest rivalries in basketball. It was never an ugly, shitty rivalry. Just huge respect from one each other's organizations. It never got ugly or physical or anything like that. And that's because of who the faces are, Duncan and Dirk. They're great guys. And Dirk Nowitzki, 30,000 points. That fadeaway that he has, that's your statue that you're going to have outside of the American Airlines.
I can't wait. Oh, man.
And when he does retire next season, he's going to be playing for sure. Beyond that, who knows? But whenever it is, that last game, we got to be there.
We're going. No matter what, I will quit my job and I will go because that is a must see for me as a fan. Like I said, I've loved Dirk pretty much ever since I started getting into basketball. And Dirk he's a class act. He does so much for the community. He does. I'm not sure if everybody else knows it, but he does a celebrity baseball game. He does. Yep. He's great with the fans.
That's awesome.
Oh man, and his celebrity baseball game is phenomenal. It's so much fun. People come out. It's not expensive either. Sometimes these things get so expensive. He doesn't make it expensive.
We're gonna try to go the next one,
and we're definitely gonna try to go. And I'm so excited, man. And it was great to see whenever that all happened, that his support from all around the world. From greats in basketball, greats in soccer, from overseas,
current and present,
current and former and present, all that. So it's phenomenal to see that he gets the respect that he deserves. Because there was so many years, if you remember, that everybody was like, "Oh, he's not clutch, and now if you mention Dirk's not clutch now, you're going to get punched in the jaw because that's ridiculous. He's one of the best.
That entire 2011 run.
God, yeah. Just remember in the finals, man, when he was sick, when he had the flu, and he pulled out a Jordan kind of game, and he destroyed the Miami Heat in the finals. He took over that game.
Destroyed that Lakers end of their era.
Oh, he ended Phil Jackson's coaching career, and that was the best, man. We swept the Lakers, and nobody even picked us to beat the Lakers, and that was oh man. I'm just thinking back, man. I'm getting all giddy because it was phenomenal, man.
I love Dirk. You don't love Dirk. You don't love basketball.
I have to go get a signature from him one of these times. That's one of the things I regret. I don't have a lot of signatures from players. I do have some signatures here from some former Cowboys, but I got to get Dirk's signature on a jersey. I have to. Man,
that'd be great.
Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt in my mind.
Absolutely. So, Dirk, 30,000 points. Congrats.
Yeah.
With the big German. All right. So, what to watch? Sean, what do you got to watch this coming week?
There's a couple things. First, more free agency. It's not over with.
Nope.
No. First off, let's not forget, we still have Jamal Charles out there. We have AP, Ramos trade still looming. There's a lot of still big moves, and that's just one of many. Eddie Lacy's still out there. There's a lot of running backs still available. Latavius Murray, thank you. I almost forgot about him. There's still so many players out there that are free agents, and so there's still a lot of names on the board. So be on the lookout. Keep your phone ready. I'm going to keep my Apple Watch ready for those ESPN notifications. It's going to be exciting. And we might have to do a couple more breaking news videos. I don't know. Maybe. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Da-na-na. So I'm excited. That obviously is going to be huge over the next week. Now, another thing, I think it's going to be a good movie. It's got a good, this resorting outside of sports. It's gotten a good Rotten Tomatoes. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna go watch it. It's Kong Island, the new King Kong movie. I love Samuel L. Jackson. He always does pretty good movies. Even the movies you think are going to be shitty, they're good with Samuel L. So I think it's going to be great. And I think Loki, the guy that plays Loki,
he's in it.
He's in there.
Yep.
So I'd love to see him because I've heard he's a great actor. I haven't seen any other movies he's been in, but I've heard he's a great actor, not just for Loki. He's great as Loki, obviously, but I want to see him in something different.
Like solid, good action and comedy.
Yeah. And it looks like some good. Looks like
fun
good
at the movies.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be great. We already mentioned last week about Logan. I want to mention that again because me and you both have seen it. Phenomenal movie.
Oh my god!
But we said that last week, so I don't want to mention it again. But I want to give it a shout out because that was probably my mind's blown from that whole movie. I kind of want to go watch it again. So
is that your favorite? Is that I'm gonna talk about Logan? Would you say that's your favorite comic book movie, or is it right up there?
Man, it's tough because obviously it's kind of a different aspect because it's a little bit more it's rated R and it's a more like an old closing a chapter kind of movie. So it's a little different. I put it up there with Winter Soldier. I do put it up there. I mean, you talked about that before. I put it up there with that. It's tough because I love Man of Steel, the Superman, not Batman vs Superman, but Man of Steel. I thought that was great too. So I put all three of those probably in the same league. I put obviously Man of Steel is a little bit below them, honestly. I hate to say that because I'm a huge Superman fan, but
comic book movies. I would say top 3: Dark Knight, Logan, Winter Soldier. Those are our top 3.
I forgot about Dark Knight. Yeah.
So
yeah,
awesome, awesome movie. Yeah. Yes, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. And if you have, go watch it again. Here's what I got to watch to add to those. The Spurs and Warriors played tonight, so after watch this video, go watch them because you know what? Now the Warriors have some players going to be sitting out, and it looks like the Spurs will too. But what's on the line is that the Spurs win. They jump within a game and a half of the Warriors. They're going to catch the Warriors, and let's see if they win tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. I think the Spurs are going to win. We're going to get even closer to that number 1 spot, so that's a big deal. I wish everybody was playing, though. Fuck.
Yeah. That's what sucks. But I think y'all will destroy them either way. I think y'all have Kawhi out. I think they have pretty much all their starters out.
Yep.
But I think y'all will win. Golden State's not looking too hot right now.
And on Sunday, Bulls and Celtics, and Cavs and Rockets. That's a good little doubleheader. That's a great game, Cavs and Rockets. That's gonna be really damn good. You got 2 MVP candidates going at it. Yeah. So be sure to watch those games.
They're the best quarterbacks on the court right now.
Watch those games. Watch our videos. Watch Free Agency Tracker, and go see Kong Island, and then we'll see you next week. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Let them know, like, hey man, I came across this really damn cool sports show on the internet on YouTube. Yeah. Come check them out. They're pretty damn badass.
What he said.
And also let us know what you guys think of this show. Let us know.
Comment. I want to debate with someone. I want someone to talk shit and debate with us.
Yeah, of course.
We're wrong. We don't mind it. Me and Josh get in debates all the time because Josh is an idiot. So
sure. I mean, if you're out there and you're like Sean and you think you know what you're talking about and you want to come talk to me, I'll be more than happy to put you in your place. So, and Sean will be the same way. He'll love to talk to you. Let me know. Let us know what's up. Think you know more than us? Talk to us.
Yeah.
Do it. And see you next week.
Yeah.